Hey everyone! Ever think about the unsung hero that keeps your blood perfectly clean and balanced? It's not your heart, it's not your lungs, it's your kidneys. And inside each kidney, there are about 1 million tiny, incredible filter factories called nephrons. Nephrons are the working units of your kidneys, and each kidney contains almost 1 to 1.5 million of them. Most of these nephrons lie in the renal cortex, while certain parts dip down into the medulla. These tiny units are responsible for filtering your blood, balancing fluids, and producing urine. And to understand how all that happens, we simply have to follow one path, the path that blood takes the moment it reaches a nephron. The first structure we meet is the interlobular artery. So let's talk about the interlobular artery. What is it? It's a small branch of the renal artery that travels upward through the cortex. You can think of it as a main road delivering fresh blood toward different nephrons. Its function is simple. It supplies blood to the afferent arterioles. Once blood flows through the interlobular artery, it enters a more specific vessel. Now we'll discuss the afferent arteriole. This is the direct entry gate into each nephron. It brings blood straight into the glomerulus. The afferent arteriole is wider than the afferent arteriole, and because of that, it helps create the pressure required for filtration to actually happen. And this high-pressure blood now enters one of the most important parts of the nephron. Now let's talk about the glomerulus. The glomerulus is a tiny network of capillaries, like a microscopic filter made entirely of blood vessels. Its function is to filter the blood. Water, ions, glucose, and small waste molecules leave the bloodstream here, while larger particles like proteins and blood cells remain behind. Everything that passes through this filter now needs to be collected somewhere, and that leads us to Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule is a cup-shaped structure that surrounds the glomerulus like a catcher's glove. Its job is to catch the filtrate coming out of the glomerulus. This filtrate is the earliest raw form of urine. Once Bowman's capsule has collected it, the filtrate flows into a narrow region next. Now we move to the neck of Bowman's capsule. This is just a small passage that connects the capsule to the proximal convoluted tubule. It doesn't modify the filtrate, it simply guides it forward to the next major section. Now we'll discuss the proximal convoluted tubule, or the PCT. The proximal convoluted tubule lies in the cortex. The proximal convoluted tubule is the site of maximum reabsorption. Around 65% of the filtered water, sodium, chloride, glucose, amino acids, and many other essential substances are reabsorbed here and returned to the bloodstream. After this heavy reabsorption, the filtrate moves on to a U-shaped structure. And that is the loop of Henle. This loop has 2 limbs, each with a unique function. First is the descending limb. The descending limb moves down into the medulla and is permeable only to water. So here, water leaves the filtrate, making it more concentrated. Then comes the ascending limb. This part is impermeable to water. Instead, it actively pumps out salts, sodium, potassium, and chloride, making the filtrate more dilute as it rises back toward the cortex. Once the filtrate exits the loop of Henle, it enters another fine-tuning area, the distal convoluted tubule, or DCT. The distal convoluted tubule lies in the cortex as well. Its job is to adjust sodium, potassium, and pH levels, mostly under hormonal control, especially aldosterone. After this final adjustment, the filtrate moves on to the path where it turns into actual urine. Next comes the collecting tubule, which eventually joins the collecting duct. These are the structures that decide how much water your body wants to keep or release. The hormone antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, acts here, increasing water reabsorption when your body needs to conserve water. Whatever isn't reabsorbed continues to become urine. As the collecting duct carries the final urine downward, there's still one blood-related structure involved, and that is important to understand. So now let's talk about the peritubular capillaries. These tiny capillaries surround the proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, and even parts of the loop of Henle. Their function is to pick up everything the nephron wants to return to the bloodstream: water, ions, glucose, amino acids, and transport it back into circulation. This ensures your body doesn't lose essential substances. Finally, once the filtrate has passed through all these sections and becomes urine, it flows out of the nephron and into the renal papilla. From there, it travels into the minor calyx, then the major calyx, then the renal pelvis, into the ureter, then the bladder, and finally out through the urethra. And that's the complete journey of blood and filtrate through the nephron. If this explanation helped make the nephron easier to understand, make sure to like, comment on the video, and subscribe to Dr. How for more simple and clear medical lessons.